Hey Niners fans, let's dive right into the latest updates surrounding San Francisco, because things are getting really interesting as we look towards Sunday's matchup. The big question on everyone's mind right now is the quarterback situation, and it's one that could change the way the game is approached entirely. Brock Purdy has been limited in practice lately, but that doesn't necessarily mean he's out for Sunday. In fact, it's entirely possible that he could still suit up as an emergency quarterback, which gives the team a lot of flexibility in deciding how to move forward. What's fascinating here is the balance between letting Purdy get the extra time he needs to recover and recognizing that Jones, your backup, has been performing at an incredibly high level. Jones has been one of the best backup quarterbacks in the league, and that kind of performance creates a unique situation where you could comfortably ride with him for a bit longer without losing too much in production. It raises an interesting strategic question. Do you play it safe and give Purdy more runway to heal, or do you go old school and start your designated quarterback no matter what? The debate is real, and it's a scenario that speaks volumes about depth, trust, and the philosophy of coaching at the highest level. Looking at the bigger picture, this quarterback situation is just one piece of a broader puzzle that the 49ers are managing. Injuries and recovery timelines are part of the ebb and flow of any NFL season, but they're especially relevant when we consider key contributors like Jawan Jennings, Kyle Juszczyk, and Sir Neil, who are still in concussion protocol. Then there's Spencer Burford, whose knee issue led to some roster adjustments, including moving Ben Bart to injured reserve and bringing in Brandon Parker to the practice squad. All of these moves are subtle but impactful, shaping how the 49ers approach each week and forcing the coaching staff to make careful, calculated decisions. Veteran players are also being managed strategically. Names like Trent Williams, Christian McCaffrey, and Nick Bosa have been given rest days, which isn't uncommon, but is worth noting because it speaks to how the team balances immediate performance with long-term health. This management is especially critical given the upcoming challenge against a team like the Arizona Cardinals, where every decision, from who's taking snaps to how your offensive line is aligned, could have ripple effects throughout the game. The handling of Brock Purdy on Sunday is one of those decisions that will tell us a lot about the team's approach. If he's not 100%, do you risk it for few plays? Or do you let Jones handle the reins, and keep your quarterback healthy for future matchups? The strategy here is layered, and it's fascinating to watch unfold because it highlights just how complex football management can be beyond what happens on the field. Switching over to defense, Fred Warner has been absolutely dominant. He was named NFC Defensive Player of the Week after a performance that included 11 tackles, a pass defense, a forced fumble, and a fumble recovery in a 26-21 win over the Saints. Warner's ability to read plays, move fluidly across the field, and make impactful decisions in real time sets him apart as one of the league's premier linebackers. His leadership and consistency have a direct effect not only on the defense's performance, but also on the development of players around him. For example, Winters has stepped up and is now giving Warner confidence that the defensive unit can trust in high-pressure situations. That kind of trust is invaluable because it allows the team to function as a cohesive unit rather than relying solely on individual heroics. The impact of the 49ers' recent drafts cannot be overstated either. Looking at the 2025 draft, the team made 11 picks across 7 rounds, and the results are starting to show. Players like Mike Williams and Mara Siegel, who were first and fifth-round picks, have already secured starting roles. Even seventh-rounder Connor KBY has made a major impact by stepping in during games and performing at a level that is remarkable for a rookie. This speaks not only to the scouting and evaluation process, but also to the development environment that Kyle Shanahan and his staff have cultivated. Rookie players are being integrated thoughtfully, and the team is seeing immediate contributions, which sets the stage for a younger, faster, and more dynamic roster. This infusion of youth is particularly exciting on the defensive side of the ball, where the 49ers have transitioned from one of the oldest units in the league to a top 5 youngest defense. When you pair that with a middle-of-the-pack offense, you get a team that is balancing experience with youthful energy, creating matchups that can overwhelm opponents with speed and versatility. Offensive players are contributing in ways that give the 49ers an edge over the Cardinals as well. Ricky Pyraw, for example, has emerged as a highly efficient pass catcher, ranking in the top 10 for EPA per target, which is impressive considering he is not technically the number one receiver on the team. This level of efficiency adds a layer of unpredictability to the offense, making it more difficult for opposing defenses to scheme effectively. Christian McCaffrey deserves special mention here, not only for his production, but also for his route running, which Kyle Shanahan has called the best among running backs in the league. McCaffrey's ability to run precise routes stretches defenses and opens up opportunities both for himself and for the receivers around him. This detail often goes unnoticed in casual discussions, but it's a critical component of the 49ers' offensive success. When you combine the strategic use of McCaffrey with Brock Purdy's potential mobility, the options for the offense become even more diverse, allowing for creative play calling that can exploit mismatches and defensive overcommitments. All of this builds toward a larger narrative. The 49ers are strategically positioning themselves for both short-term victories and long-term stability. By managing player health carefully, integrating rookies effectively, and leveraging key veterans like Warner and McCaffrey, they're creating a framework that maximizes flexibility and efficiency on both sides of the ball. The upcoming matchup against the Arizona Cardinals will be a significant test, but the combination of youth, experience, and strategic depth suggests that the 49ers are entering this challenge with an advantage that is subtle but meaningful. Now, looking deeper at the offensive side, the 49ers are showing just how dangerous they can be when they fully leverage their weapons. The efficiency of receivers like Ricky Pyraw, paired with Christian McCaffrey, is giving the team a significant edge in the passing game. Pyraw has been making plays with remarkable consistency, ranking among the top targets in the league despite not being the number one receiver. His ability to find space, create separation, and convert opportunities into positive yardage has been a game-changer in multiple matchups so far. Then you have McCaffrey, whose versatility continues to shine. He's not just a dynamic runner. He's an incredible route runner, and the precision he brings to his routes allows the offense to function at a level that keeps defenses constantly guessing. Shanahan's system emphasizes timing and spacing, and McCaffrey executes that with near perfection. When you add in the presence of Purdy, assuming he's ready to go, you now have a quarterback who can extend plays with his mobility, manipulate defensive coverages, and open up lanes both through the air and on the ground. That combination makes the 49ers' offense unpredictable and incredibly difficult to scheme against. One of the fascinating aspects of this young roster is how quickly some of the rookies have adapted to the speed and complexity of the NFL. Players like Connor KBY, who came in as a seventh-round pick, are already seeing significant snaps and performing at a level that exceeds expectations for their draft position. It speaks to the developmental culture within the 49ers organization. Shanahan and his staff are not just drafting players to fill spots. They're bringing in athletes who can immediately contribute while also providing room for growth. That philosophy has created a depth chart that isn't just deep in numbers, but deep in actual talent, which becomes a massive advantage when injuries inevitably occur over the course of the season. When you look at how the team has managed the quarterback situation, the defensive backfield, and the offensive line, it's clear that every decision is calculated to maintain this delicate balance of health, performance, and long-term sustainability. The defensive side continues to impress as well, particularly with the play of Fred Warner. His ability to read the field, anticipate plays, and make game-changing tackles puts the entire defense in a position to succeed. Warner's leadership extends beyond his physical ability. He sets a tone for the younger players, guiding them through complex schemes and helping them understand the nuances of the game at the highest level. His presence allows the 49ers to take calculated risks defensively because the rest of the unit trusts that Warner will make the right read and provide support wherever necessary. That trust is a huge asset, especially when facing offenses that rely on speed and misdirection, like the Arizona Cardinals. The combination of Warner's instincts, Winter's emergence, and the rest of the young defensive core means that the 49ers can execute more complex schemes and maintain flexibility against multiple types of offensive threats. Another layer to consider is how the 49ers' offensive efficiency creates leverage in other areas of the game. When the receivers are stretching the field and McCaffrey is executing precise routes, it forces the opposing defense to account for multiple threats simultaneously. That opens up opportunities for the running game, for play-action passes, and for creative formations that can exploit mismatches. Even without some of the top receivers on the field, the 49ers have shown that their offensive scheme is not dependent on any single player, but rather on the collective execution of the entire roster. This depth and versatility create a scenario where opposing defenses have to play perfect football just to keep pace, which is a huge advantage as the season progresses. It's also worth noting how the young offensive line is performing. Players like Upton Stout and the rookies brought in through the last two drafts are stepping up and holding their own against some of the toughest defensive fronts in the league. That development is critical because a quarterback like Brock Purdy, or even him, Jones if he's under center, relies on protection and clean pockets to execute the offense effectively. The fact that these younger players are already showing reliability gives Shanahan more options when designing plays and managing the pace of the game. The 49ers are essentially building a system where both the offense and defense are synchronized, giving the team an internal rhythm that can be exploited against opponents who are still adjusting to their own rotations and personnel changes. Looking ahead to the matchup with the Cardinals, this combination of offensive efficiency, defensive leadership, and young talent gives the 49ers a subtle but tangible advantage. Arizona is a strong team, no question, but the unpredictability of San Francisco's offense, combined with the disciplined and instinct-driven defense, sets up a scenario where the 49ers can control the tempo and force the Cardinals into difficult situations. Every choice Shanahan makes, from which quarterback takes the first snap, to how the running backs are utilized, to how the offensive line schemes against the pass rush, can tilt the balance in San Francisco's favor. That level of preparation and adaptability is what makes this team feel different from previous years, especially when facing elite opponents. Ultimately, the Niners are showing a blueprint for sustainable success. They're blending the precision of veteran leaders, the dynamism of emerging stars, and the adaptability of a coaching staff that knows how to maximize every piece of talent. When you look at the efficiency of receivers, the route running of McCaffrey, the impact of rookies stepping up early, and the defensive dominance led by Warner, it becomes clear that this team is positioned to not only compete, but to set the tone in the NFC. The decisions made this week, particularly regarding Brock Purdy's readiness, will be telling, but even beyond that, the structural advantage that San Francisco has built across both sides of the ball is remarkable. Watching how this young, talented, and well-coached team navigates the challenges ahead is what makes this season so compelling for Niners fans. But before we dive in, don't forget to subscribe to 49ers Zone and hit the like button on this video. Your support helps us keep bringing you the latest updates on the San Francisco 49ers. And don't forget to share your thoughts on the news in the comments below. In what could be the blockbuster move of the NFL offseason, whispers around the league suggest that defensive powerhouse Nick Bosa is on the verge of leaving the San Francisco 49ers for the Miami Dolphins in a trade that is sending shockwaves through both conferences. Sources close to team insiders say that negotiations have been intense, with the Dolphins reportedly offering a package that includes multiple high draft picks and a couple of promising young players to secure the services of the reigning Defensive Player of the Year. The rumor has ignited a firestorm on social media and sports talk shows as fans and analysts scramble to unpack the potential implications. Bosa, widely regarded as one of the most dominant edge rushers in the league, has been the cornerstone of San Francisco's defense since his arrival, terrorizing quarterbacks and consistently changing the course of games. For Miami, a team hungry to make a serious playoff push, adding a player of Bosa's caliber could instantly elevate their defensive profile and make them a legitimate contender in the AFC. Insiders claim that Bosa's move might not just be about football. There are murmurs that the star pass rusher is seeking a new challenge, a fresh environment, and a team that matches his ambitions both on and off the field. The Dolphins front office has reportedly been in stealth talks for weeks, carefully orchestrating a deal that could rival some of the biggest trades in recent NFL history. Meanwhile, the 49ers are said to be considering every angle, weighing the short-term pain of losing a defensive juggernaut against the long-term value of the assets they could receive in return. The timing of the trade remains unclear, but the mere possibility of Bosa donning aqua and orange has fans buzzing. Will he transform Miami into an unstoppable force, or is this just another high-profile rumor that fizzles out before the draft? League insiders are divided, but one thing is certain. If this deal comes to fruition, it will be remembered as one of the most audacious moves in modern NFL history. For now, the rumor mill is running wild, and fans across the country are left on edge, waiting to see if Nick Bosa's next sack will be in Miami instead of San Francisco. That's it for this update. If you enjoyed the video and want to keep receiving exclusive news about the San Francisco 49ers, make sure to subscribe to 49ers Zone and give this video a like. We always look forward to hearing your comments and opinions. See you in the next video.